Frankly, the first program I worked with them, I gave them a list, which was pretty iffy. It didn't work that well, but it was fascinating. There were a couple of people I knew who were on that list. I hadn't seeded them; they just happened to be on the list. And I got an email from a woman who had been a supplier of printing for Pollution Probe. The program wasn't going very well, and she called me up and said, "John, I just got a phone call from your telemarketing agency, and that was one of my best experiences." And this from someone who, all of us have telemarketing people calling us from time to time. It's not something that you usually hang up the phone and call up and say, "I just had my best experience on it with a telemarketer." But in this case, that happened. I think it helped me to obviously realize that the program wasn't necessarily their problem. A lot of it was my problem in giving them the wrong names, and it really kind of got our relationship off on a good footing. The telemarketing for us comes in when we find that someone maybe hasn't immediately got it. They gave us a $50 check at one point, but they've gone on to other things, and it's just a little reminder of who we are. And I think because it's done respectfully and because a phone is an immediate medium, it's an opportunity for us to actually vicariously through a telemarketing person, but TSR, but to actually speak to our donors directly and try to make sure that what we're doing is in their ear and on top of mind for them. We first became involved with Keys Direct. We first started working with them. I had been using another telemarketing agency. The agency was actually an international organization. Their corporate headquarters are in Europe, and they were breaking into the Canadian market, but they were getting bigger and bigger all the time, and putting a lot of investment into overhead. And because that was happening, I'm sure it made business sense for them, but they were really becoming a bit too many bells and whistles for what we needed to have in our telemarketing agency. We needed more of, I suppose, hands-on, more understanding of our situation as a nonprofit organization, as one that's dedicated to the public good. The telemarketing agency we were working with were, as I say, they were prepared and ready to do hundreds of thousands of cold calls across the country through their technology, but it was beginning to get less and less sort of geared toward the kind of operation that Pollution Probe is. Our TSRs have been working with us for some time because the management has been working with us for a number of years. That you get the feeling that the TSRs actually are affiliated with Pollution Probe. And when my preference when someone is reading a script or working from a script is that they are able to actually take that script internally and to effectively to put it into their own words. That's a fine line there, because you don't want people going off on their own tangent. But I don't think that happens when I listen in with Keys Direct TSRs. I hear people who have a feeling for our organization. They've obviously done some research on our organization, but I also have a feeling that because these people work frequently with nonprofit organizations, they understand the motive of nonprofit organizations for the public good and for the good of future generations. They feel that, and it comes through in the way they deliver their lines.